everyone. I am Diana, and I am bringing this art exercise to you daily. Normally I do it at 11 a.m. Pacific time, but today we were at 2 p.m. because I was in a training on trauma. So thank you so much for joining me. I was learning more about trauma responsive play. I went to a seminar today, virtually given by Echo. If you don't know them, they're a really amazing organization here in Los Angeles that they host trainings on trauma, and they also host parenting classes. So check them out. I will put the information in the comments. So I am a little bit late for you today, so thank you for joining me. And I'm also in a different room. I don't have the cat, but I have these cool sharks, so I hope they bring you joy. So what are we going to do today? We're doing a quick art exercise. I learned this exercise at the Actors Fund in a class on managing depression and anxiety. The Actors Fund is also an amazing organization. They provide some really great services for people in the entertainment industry. So I will put them in the notes as well, so you can check out what they do. And they're right now more than ever. I know the arts are something that is in need of support, and here in Los Angeles, we're definitely feeling that with the entertainment industry too. But I hope that everyone is doing well despite these unprecedented times. That is a different time for many of us, right? But there are things that we can do to take hold of some of the feelings that you might be experiencing during this time. At times, feelings can seem overwhelming, but my hope is that this exercise might help you to take hold of them and manage them, even if it's just for a brief minute. It doesn't really necessarily take away the real reality of some of the things that we're experiencing, but this exercise gives you the ability to notice those feelings, to apply language and color, possibly shapes to it, which engages a different part of our mind, and it helps us to start to engage the part of our mind that is logical and problem solving. So this exercise helps to integrate the emotional and the logic portion of our brain as well. So that's my quick neuroscience knowledge. I hope it's right. Anyway, it's really fun, so let's do it. So you're gonna need a piece of paper, and you're gonna need some coloring utensils. I use crayons, but you can use markers or paints, or sometimes I'll just pick up a pen and do this exercise really quickly. And it doesn't have to even involve color. So really, you do whatever works for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly check in with ourselves, and we're going to draw our thoughts and emotions right here in this moment, me here with you, virtually. We're gonna draw our thoughts and emotions as if they're weather. So is it sunny in your inner world? It might be, there might be really dark rain clouds. There might be rain clouds that are really dark, but they're actually made of cotton candy. You can really draw whatever you want. You don't have to stick to weather. Weather is just it's a tool just to get you started. Or you can put a crayon or your coloring utensil to the page and just see what comes out. I tend to really like that technique, because then I allow my intuition. I allow, in some ways, my subconscious to guide me. So you could do that. You can just see whatever color is grabbing your attention. For me, it's this orange, and I could just put it to the page and see what comes out. If you do want to check in with yourself, you can do a body scan if you want. It's just very calming and grounding to just keep our awareness at the top of our heads and scan it all the way down our body. And you're just gonna see whatever parts of your body brings your awareness to it, any place that you're holding tension, any place that you maybe need a deep breath to ground. And sometimes with emotions, I don't necessarily have the language to explain them. I don't necessarily sometimes I don't even want to feel them, and I'm surprised that they're even in my body. And what I do in that situation is I just notice. I just take a brief, oh, I have this feeling in my hands. I don't really know what that is, but I'm getting the energy out anyway. So you can do that, or you can just cerebrally be like, I'm feeling, and I'm gonna draw it. Whatever works for you, really. Okay, so let's draw. We are going to draw our thoughts and emotions in this minute, sitting here with you as if it's weather. Okay, and then we're gonna just do this. Ba-bum. Okay. So if you're just joining us, oh hello, you're watching from Scotland, darling. Thank you so much for joining. What we just did was a quick art exercise where you take your colors and you take some paper and you just draw your thoughts and emotions in this current moment as if it's weather. So if you're just joining us, please feel free to take some time to color your own. And I will quickly show you mine. So this is mine. I was really interested because when I initially talked to you, I picked up this orange and I was really excited about this orange. But it was interesting because just like with weather, your thoughts and emotions can change immediately. So I thought that I was going to color with this because it grabbed my attention. But when I looked at my color palette, I got so excited about this salmon color. And I don't know what came over me, but I was having the best time drawing. It was almost like, we still have inner children still in us. That's it's a part of mental health is taking care of that inner child of ours. And I felt like my inner child just like burst through, and she was like, Diana, I got this. So I just like had to sit back and let whatever came out come out. And I was having the best time drawing this almost firework of joy. And it crossed the entire palette of my paper. And then what I did was I drew a sun. It was interesting for me because these suns in previous pictures have been stabilizing factors. They've been factors of hope. They've kind of changed the symbolism over the course that I've been doing this this exercise with you. This sun is actually a receptacle. It's in some way like it's catching that joy and letting me know, almost like solar power. It's catching that ray and letting me know that it's always there for me. And I just feel like that for me feels incredibly empowering and exciting. So, but I don't know if you could tell, but as I was drawing this, my crayon, which in previous drawings I broke, I broke some of the crayons over the course of doing this, but my crayon, I couldn't get the color out, and I got really frustrated, and it was almost like that same inner little me was throwing a temper tantrum. So what I did was I grabbed a red, and I just kind of gave a box. I started to draw a border, if you will, on the picture to symbolize that. But it was interesting because after I gave voice to that frustration, this red, I then changed colors and picked up this one, which now that I'm talking to you in this moment, I realize that this has been the color that I've used for moons and stabilizing factors in previous drawing sessions. So I allowed it to have this border, and that is almost like the that firework of joy is bursting forth through this border. And then I allowed it to change again. I allowed the top to be violet, and I tested it out to make sure that was the color I wanted to use. So you don't have to just sketch really quickly. You can test and you can decide what you want, and it can change. And so then I drew little fireworks popping up from there. Yesterday I did a character workshop online with Me Too Many Voices, which is also another great organization. We did a character workshop. My background is in, thank you. My background is in character creation and performance. I'm actually not a therapist. I'm a performance artist. And I created the character of Hope yesterday, and it was awesome. And Hope was wearing a rainbow robe of sorts. So this symbolizes hope. And then I mirrored this, okay, thank you, Lisa, for joining. So then I drew another firework of silver out of the frustration. And that actually mirrors all these other fireworks, but specifically this one. It's almost a response to this, but right here, what this really shows me in this picture is the good that can sometimes come from adversity. And that's not saying that the adversity is what brings the good. Your reaction to it is where we find the silver lining. In my solo show, where I create the characters that I just talked about, I talk a lot about early childhood adversity, and I talk a lot about trauma recovery, anxiety, depression, and some pretty dark things. But from my own experiences of me reacting, sometimes in healthy ways, sometimes not in healthy ways, but in me learning to build my resilience and tap into that resilience, there actually is a lot of strength too. So yes, this is my weather report. It brings me a lot of energy, and I hope that you are experiencing good weather in your inner world as well. or at least whether that can maybe give you some language for some of the emotions that might be rolling around in here and here. So this exercise you can do with children, and you can also do with loved ones. You can, in a very neutral way, create dialogue between your loved ones about what you might be going through and what they might be going through. It's also an opportunity to create dialogue with your own self too. Also, in my trauma training that I learned this morning, weather is something that you can do with your children, even if you do it with touch, because little ones respond to, they might be hugging you more, or they might need some cozying up a little bit more right now. And the practitioner mentioned that doing weather on their back, like little light rain, or maybe drawing a little fluffy cloud or something that can soothe them, can kind of what is that word that I'm looking for? Can engage the need for touch. So you could also do this exercise not with drawing, but in another way. So I hope that it serves you. Please join me. Tomorrow I'm actually going to do this at 2 as well, because I'm hosting a character deep dive character masterclass with Jessica Lynn Johnson, who is the director of my solo show Shattered. So we're doing that tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Online via Zoom. I will also post that in the comments. There's going to be a lot of comments, everyone. So yes, so this will be at 2 tomorrow, but usually it's at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So I hope that this was something that was good for you, and I appreciate you joining me, and thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.